All right, Bryon Powell of iRunFar here with Scott Gall before the UROC 100K tomorrow. How you doing, Scott?
Good.
I'm guessing that a lot of the iRunFar readers and viewers don't know you as much because while you've done 250Ks, you've had a lot more success and experience in the shorter trail races.
Right.
You've been 5th at the World Mountain Running Championships before, correct?
Yep.
You've run a couple other ones, a couple other times, or?
Yeah, I've been on the U.S. mountain running team I think 4 times, but it's been spread out. I mean, through years of running. So
you've been on the elite shorter trail running scene for quite a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What got you into like that elite competitive trail run? Were you a collegiate runner? The transition?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in Indiana in flatland farm country, and after going to college, we ran Division III at Wabash College. It's a small all-male school in Indiana. Mm-hmm. We went to Colorado for the summertime to train for fun a couple of summers, and when we graduated, I just hightailed it out of there. I mean, I moved to Colorado the day I graduated.
Sweet.
So fell in love with it, and you know, you spend time in the mountains, and you spend time doing that with other guys that run, and you know, you show up at a race and do well because that's all you're doing anyway.
So yeah, what are some other highlights in your career? I mean, you've also not only been a trail runner, but you've qualified for the Olympic trials in the marathon, correct?
Yeah, that would be a highlight. I in 2000, I mean, it was a while ago, but was doing enough mileage and training really for a lot of trail stuff, but doing a couple things here and there that were fast enough turnover to keep my leg speed up, and was able to have a good race and qualify for the trials.
Have you dabbled in some of like the American highlights on the mountain road scene, like Mount Washington, Pikes Peak, and those races at all? Or
I've done the Pikes Peak Marathon once. I did the ascent this year, tried to do the ascent, but I was sick the week before, so I ended up dropping out, hopefully to make sure I was okay for this race. And then I haven't done Mount Washington. It's really been hit or miss. I've kind of, you know, just lived a different life, I guess. It hasn't been all full focus running. So for a couple years I was racing pro on the Xterra circuit. And just now getting back into running more again. So.
Gotcha. And you said you moved to Colorado the day after college. You're now in Iowa.
Right. Yeah.
How's that going for the trail run?
Yeah, it's we do have trails at school. That there is a trail organization called CVAS that takes care and maintains and then tries to actually grow the trail system in town. And so there's definitely things going on there, but they're flat. You know, they're nice, soft, sweet single track. But it's not a hilly area that we live in, so it's different.
What are you thinking about I mean, you've had the mountain training and mountain experience before. What are you thinking about tomorrow's race with a significant amount of vert?
Yeah, some of that's been nice. I do travel to races, especially this summer. I traveled to a couple in Colorado purposely to get some trails, some hilly trails in. And I'm hoping that some of that will pay off. I think some of it is just remembering what it feels like and letting your body have enough time to get in a groove. And, you know, 62 miles, there should be enough time to hopefully get in a groove at some point in time. Totally.
So what has your training and racing been this summer leading up to? I mean, it sounds like you've been focusing on UROC.
Yeah, you know, we did, I'm here with a couple of friends from back home. We did the Ice Age 50. My buddies did the 50 miler. I wasn't brave enough yet. I did the 50K, but I really did that, you know, to hop into another longer endurance race and get a feel for it. And that one I was able to race from the gun. The first one I kind of got a feel for it. And I did that, and then I did the Bar Trail Mountain Race, which is up and down, and there's some good pounding coming down that to see how the legs would hold up coming from flatland.
Yeah. And
so, you know, it's definitely been good. I've had some longer runs that I wasn't doing the last few years. Longer for me, 3-4 hour long runs, and some of that on pavement too, to make sure I was pounding the legs a little bit. So.
Yeah. So how are you thinking about that mix in the course? Where there's some, you know, technical, a lot of hills on both road and trail, like where are your strengths going to be out there on the course?
Man, I have no idea. I'm going to tuck in and try to hang on is what I'm going to do, in all sincerity. But I think Wardian's the guy. In the back of my mind, I don't even know him, but you know, he's a marathoner, and there's pavement here, so I think he's a guy to watch. But then you have all the top guys. You know, you have Rose and Mackey and those guys are so honed in on what they're doing. It's, you know, I'm basically going to just enjoy being hopefully close to him as long as I can be and see what happens halfway through the day.
How have your experiences been? And you've done 250Ks, correct? 2
Yes. Yeah.
How have those gone? What have your experiences been like?
Good. The first one was definitely more painful. It was in December in Iowa, but it rained and snowed the whole time. We had a creek crossing that was knee deep that you went through twice. So it was just a miserable day, and I was still Xterra training, so, you know, my mileage was about 30 miles a week running before that. So I could feel that one a lot more, it took a lot more out of me. The second one, the Ice Age, was definitely fun. The course was more fun. I thought there was more single track, or it was, you know, double track ski trail that was still fun to be in the woods and do it. So that one was very enjoyable, and I pinned it from the gun and kind of faded at the end. But
when you end up running there,
3:18 something.
Quite a speedy 50K.
Yeah, there were some guys' names from, I don't know what the date was, but the record's, you know, sub 3:15. I was trying to break it and faded at the end, but I was by myself. So.
Do you think, like, how long did the longest Xterra races go for? And do you think that will help you at all as you make this transition?
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge transition. The amount of time that I was racing was still, you know, 3-hour-long races. And so I know that's not 8 or 10 hours, but when you get to 3 hours or 4 hours, you know, it's just a long day no matter what.
So what made you want to move up to the 100K and choose UROC specifically to do that?
I think I always kind of wondered, you know, what's it like? How, you know, how good are the guys that are up in the front, you know, and am I good enough to be up there or not? And then when UROC started to put out some marketing, you know, some advertising, and they were saying, hey, we really want to put together, that's sometimes been my complaint, that you can go to this race or that race and win, but you really don't know, you know, for sure how you stack up. So I hope this keeps growing, and I hope that, you know, you're able to look at it and say, you know, this is how I stacked up because of having a race like UROC.
Totally. Well, best of luck out there, and I hope you find yourself high up on that stack.
Yeah, thanks a lot.